Hey guys, Tarek here, bringing you a 2v2 today. We are on Elst Outskirts, and playing today spawning in the south. We have ProMete, I think, pronounced maybe. Anyway, playing as Soviets who has guard rifle, combined arms, industry, and shock rifle frontline. Team with him is Zyswen, playing as US forces, straight away going for Airborne, rifle squad and 2 Pathfinders. Face off is him in the north. We have Synthesis, playing as OKW who has elite armored, Overwatch, and a breakthrough, and finally ed80hertz. Also playing as OKW who has Luftwaffe ground forces, grand offensive, and Overwatch. In terms of rankings here, a range team around rank 120 allies versus randoms. Both these guys are around rank 50. Okay, coordinated move here from Ed, trying to charge onto the cutoff. Going to get a 2v1 going as well. Let's see a rotation here. Just going to stall out. Another squad construct's coming out from base. Also a valid tactic. Second squad of Pathfinders from Zyswen. Interesting call. Weird wires there from ProMete. I'm not sure about that. Empires finally make their move in by Ed. Get some nice heavy cover. Working their way across there. Looks like the allies hold on to their cutoff though. Pathfinders joining in on the defense. This one trying to maintain control of this building. Cool wagon though, doing some nice damage here. Keep pulling back from there, but has jumped onto the fuel point. Looks like he's going to try to go for the neutralize before retreating. ProMete sensing that, pushing on to stall the decap. It has to retreat. Good play there by ProMete. Cool, gets a little bit low, has to back out. While Pathfinders came in from this angle, no switching of targets here from Synthesis, bit of a blunder. Okay, switches now, but it's about 5 seconds. Google briefly going back to the other sector to try and do some capping. Well, it needs repairs, but going back into the action now. Backing away for repairs again, perhaps. Very long fight here, but it looks like this one is eventually going to lose the battle to hold on to the building. But it's been a pretty even split of the maps so far for both teams, so not really a huge deal either way. Early retreat there from the conscripts. Does not have medics up though, so there's no real point in retreating if you don't have medics in that scenario. Not quite so punishing now that medics only cost 200 manpower. I suppose it's not too far away from being able to get the upgrade, but still that means that squad's probably going to have to sit back at base for a minute or two. Okay, well there we go. A lieutenant charging on to the cutoff, holding on to the territory, and sending a grenade, pushing him out of cover. Charging in on the Folks now. Could really do with a bit more firepower out of that combat engineer jumping out of the building here to assist. Okay, a couple of Pathfinders come in from the site. And now a Paradrop 50 cal from Zyswen. This is something that we've seen a couple times in the past. Putting Pathfinders on support weapons so they have super long line of sight. A valid strategy. Used to be like actually very good on the old 50 cal before the setup time nerfs. Because with the extra sight you could just see whatever's coming and then just auto set up. Very easy to control. A dicey retreat there on the lieutenant, but does get away alive. A lot of manpower bleed here though for the allies. ProMete especially quite far behind. In the KD. Okay, Stuart coming in for Zyswen. Looks like he crewed that with rear echelon models though. Not Pathfinders, so I don't really see the point in using power dropped 50 cal if you've already got Lieutenant. If you're not going to equip it with the Pathfinder models, I think you're better off just building a 50 cal. Because you will save like a tiny bit of manpower, but it costs you munitions. Which you're better off spending on weapon racks. I know that DVM did this a few times in the World Championships, but I still don't agree with it, even if DVM does it. Or did it? I don't know if he'd still do it. Maybe he might change his mind on it. But here we go, Stuart coming out. We've got a flak half track from Ed. No light vehicle from Synthesis. Double battle group for the Axis. So Stuart could do a lot of damage. Do you have a Kitten out already? But it's way back at base at the moment. So good time here for the Stuart to get a lot of damage in uncontested. Big old flank here from Ed around the machine gun. But it was already repositioning. So doesn't manage to flank it properly there. Good play by ProMete, like after getting the suppression here, saw that Ed was crawling out to the side, repositioned the machine gun, now an incendiary grenade out. I think the conscripts are healthy enough to win this one here. So, yep, there we go, Ed has to retreat. Meanwhile, Zyswen really struggling on his side at the moment. Here comes the flak half track, but quite late timing on this, close to 8 minutes by the time it's actually on the front lines. Going to work out okay for Ed though, because ProMete also very late on his tech timing. In fact, maybe thinking about going straight for tier 4, having gone for both a Maxim and a Zys. Instead of trying to build up the tech. In spite of having double combat engineers too, you know, so actual construction of the tech shouldn't be that tough for him with 2 combat engineers for potential construction. So yeah, I don't know. Either way, Zys gets a shot on. Flak half track pulls back. Probably best for Ed to stay on this side. Probably doesn't want to have to duel against the Stuart at the moment. Do have a couple of mines down for ProMete as well, so that could be trouble for Ed. He does have the sweeper out though. Stuart up in the north now. Kid rotating, so is a machine gun. Is this one just no answer for the building? Kid might even get 2 shots in here. Very close. Doesn't quite manage to secure the fuel up there, but either way, it's pretty good harass against the Axis fuel. Yeah, now pushing forwards, looking to go for the cutoff again. Excuse me. Charging onto the cutoff, and the conscripts, you know, they're behind heavy cover. Gonna lob out a Molotov here, but still outgunned. These TG Fox Grenadiers outnumbering the superior weaponry.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Did make it competitive though with that Molotov. Let's put down tier 3, but no light vehicle. So yeah, it does look like it's going to be a straight tier 4 tech today. Could have around about put it down now. There's combat engineers as well, which, you know, if you're trying to go for the straight tier 4 tech, getting it down as early as possible for those 7-man conscripts as early as possible makes a lot of sense. But he instead sends combat engineers back onto the front lines. but it's not going to matter too much. One retreating now. Finally flushed the squad out of the building here, getting a bit of a flank going as well as this one, jumping on top of the cutoff. Synthesis scrambling to try and cover this angle. Needs to get his machine gun into action though. Got a squad of paratroopers as well for this one now, so really trying to make a concerted effort at this stage. Getting missing on the Stewart. Getting under a bit of fire here. Oh, but here comes the machine gun. The kitten opening up on the Stewart, getting some damage in. MG getting some nasty suppression in though, and there goes this one's blob. Very late incendiary grenade though. Hangs on. It rotated the flak half track up here. It's not really going to matter. A little bit too late to do anything. Feels like to me that the Allies have had slightly superior territory control in terms of resource sectors, but they are quite far behind on VPs already, about 150 behind. Okay, dropping an anti-tank gun now, that makes a lot more sense. Speaking of tanks, Ed putting down his tier 4 tech now, but still, you know, a very long way away from the fuel for a medium tank, so this anti-tank gun might be a little bit early here for this one. But, you know, maybe it'll get some shots off on the flak half track, maybe it won't be wasted. Have to wait and see. And so far, you know, the Allies were bleeding a bit early on, but it feels like things have slowed down quite a lot in terms of casualties this game. A lot more static play on both fronts. So maybe going for the AT gun's not going to slow him down in terms of manpower when it comes to building his first tank, is this one. DK taking the incendiary grenade, has to get out of there. Can go down if he gets a little bit unlucky. Oh no, he's got a gang of troops going to stop that chase down. Oh boy, late retreat here on the Sturms, and down they go. Those Thompson paratroopers are nasty. He just got melted. The T-gun actually got decrewed up here though, so that's a bit of a blunder. Didn't even trigger the mine either. Not entirely sure how that happened for this one. And since this could come in with his own anti-tank gun, currently up in the north, and kill this, that's what he should be looking to do, but he's just forgotten about it up there. Meanwhile, we've got a T-34 out for ProMete. Kitten coming around the corner here. T-34 hides itself behind the building. He can't find the angle. Has to come a little bit further across. Oh, it was leave cover. They're pretty bunched up, but luckily those stacks of wood absorbed the last shot there. But Allies with the superior territory control here with the light vehicle. And now the tank first. Really imposing their will on this game. It's flak half track meanwhile. It's done almost nothing for the last like 5 minutes. He got 8 minutes right, took a shot, he got a couple kills with it, and I feel like it's moved around a couple times, but he hasn't done anything with it. Maybe he thinks it's too hard to use effectively at this stage, which he might be right about. It certainly will have some value later on against this one's P-47s. Maybe he's just going to keep it alive until then. Another kitten coming in now for Ed, about 40 fuel away from his tank. Meanwhile, Synthesis not going for a light vehicle. Is this Panzer IV about to pop out? Zyswen meanwhile has a good chunk of fuel himself. Will it be the Sherman first, or will it be the Jackson? It's the kitten out on negative cover there, goes down very, very quickly. Goes for the recrew. T-34's... Oh yeah, it's just too much firepower, and down it goes again. And negative cover really hurting Ed there. Yeah, I stick around for the kill on it. Nice to see, good idea. Looks like this one did manage to recrew that, by the way. So it's just missing the opportunity for the kill on the M1. Kitten got a shot off on the Stuart, forcing it back for the moment. There is a mine right here, which has been there for a long time. Just hasn't triggered somehow. Here comes the Panzer IV though. T-34 backs off quickly, takes another shot from the kitten. Oh, that's a nasty shot from the P4, and he might even retreat over the mine here. No. Kind of looks like a couple models were running across to this side, but they come through this gap instead. They do survive. Maxim covering the VP here, locking it out. Second AT gun coming in for ProMete as well. He's gone for a Katyusha. Is not looking good for Ed here. Try and go for the cap anyway. Try and dodge forwards of the rockets. Reasonable idea, and ProMete over here doesn't have much support for the machine gun. T-34 off the battlefield. Conscript's back at base as well, so he's getting some work done here. Capping up the territory, sweeping up the mines. Oh boy, his own mine triggering on his tank. Yes. Oh, I feel sorry for his synthesis there. You can't help but laugh though, right? So many near misses on that mine, and then finally backfires on him at the end. A lot of damage on these Pathfinders. I think if I was this one, I'd just retreat them. Don't want to bleed that much manpower here. Now these guys' first tank out. I wonder if he's going to get some weapon racks going. Haven't seen those so far. Got a huge amount of munitions in reserve. Or maybe he's just going to save it all for the planes. We'll have to wait and see. Cal on the run there. Stuart popping the shell shock. Jackson missing. Did it connect? I'm not sure. What a miss, but the tank did take some damage at some stage. Kitten wrapping around, trying to find an angle. We do have a machine gun up here. He's about to run into it. Katyusha going for Ed's troops again. Pretty good connection on the Raketen there. Has to retreat. Not super impressive. Dodges backwards though, straight after
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
the barrage is finished. Nice to see. Good touch there for ProMete. Here we go. Big old flank coming in for Zyswen. I don't know if he saw that machine gun because it's Pathfinders, but either way it works out for him pretty well at this stage. Jackson narrowly missing this shot, and Raketen isn't in position to assist the Panzer IV here. Needs to switch over to fire at the Jackson though and ignore the infantry. Very late switching over to prioritized vehicles. Meanwhile, this reposition is horrible on the Raketen, and the Panzer IV goes down almost for free there. Got the P-47s as well, but probably wasn't even necessary. Synthesis just massively misplaying with his tank. Caught up with the pathing, getting overwhelmed there if I'm honest. You can see he was still shooting at the infantry like 2 or 3 shots after the enemy vehicles sprung the trap on him, so very bad reactions to that. Got a Panther coming out for it. Bit sturdier. But yeah, the lack of rocket artillery, I feel like it's gonna hurt the Axis team here. ProMete, you know, double anti-tank guns and the Maxim could really do with some rocket artillery to get rid of that. Also ProMete, I mean, he's been at tier 4 for quite a long time here, but no 7-man upgrade. No mobilized reserves on the conscripts. It's another big mistake. Not even too much else to spend your munitions on in this Commander Soviet industry. It's going to try to go for a supply drop here. It's got the half track though. I don't think that's going to work. Wow, that was lucky. He was driving around with it. No. Oh, he did end up shooting it down, but got the drop off just in the nick of time. Lucky break though. Pretty close to the KV2, however. So the Panther is going to have his work cut out once that arrives. But yeah, this would be a rocket arty paradise, a formation like that, but the Axis just don't have the answer. It still has his commander open though, could, you know, potentially go for Overwatch. Go for a howitzer. Does have an infantry support gun, but it's often not enough to deal with 3 support weapons like that. Just doesn't have enough impact. Slow kind of attrition. It's got picked up here by Zyswen. Going for the barrage here. It's got the different particle effect, more like a mortar now on the barrage compared to the autofire. Maybe didn't have to retreat with the rocket in there. Machine gun was covering it. Synthesis meanwhile has saved up a lot of fuel himself. Is it going to be a Panther? Maybe a King Tiger Jagdpanzer's got a lot of options open. Ed taking down the Stuart, but could be in some trouble here. Oh, he bounces the killing blow from the Jackson. Will he get lucky again? Jackson missing again. I don't know if that was an attack round, if he just missed on the move, but either way, Ed's Panther gets away. Lucky break for Ed there. 2 tanks down. That's a major turning point for the Axis. They needed that. They're in a tough position. Bit of luck for Ed. Turn things around. Could have also, well, should have put that Volkskrieger there that was in the center across to threaten the Faust, but didn't end up mattering. Major arty dropped on the machine gun upgrade there, clears it out, but easy recruit. Meanwhile, the Maxim actually got decrewed down here. Looks like the infantry support gun up to 15 kills. That's really, really good kill count. Usually you have like Vet 5 once you're at 15 kills. Trying to spread out here a bit. Do the Scott chipping away as well. Okay, well here's the KV2 for ProMete. That could be trouble for the Axis. Chusha coming back the other way. Panther is the choice for synthesis. He was a bit late building this though. He had the resources for over a minute, I would say, before we start construction. Alright, Faust connecting, and so is the Rocket and T-34 getting caught up on the trees a bit here. Panther charging through the center. Ed smells blood. KV2 needs to act as a diversion here. Ed putting it on to hold fire so he doesn't fire at the KV2. Nicely done by him. And he seals the deal on the T-34. Major going down in the center. Panther and KV dueling. But the double anti-tank guns rotating for ProMete. Doesn't have support at the moment. KV2 in a little bit of trouble here. The T-gun's too far away from ProMete, just doesn't have the support. Bit sloppy from him, and the the Panther upgrade with the Commander and with the heat shells going, and the KV2 goes down. And the heat shells, the extra penetration and damage making a big difference there. Easy kill on the KV2, which otherwise might have been a bit trickier. And it really comes down to ProMete's just horrible anti-tank gun positioning. Commander, is he dropping some artillery on the AT gun? Yep, gets the D crew. Backing up. It looks like he's going to go for the kill on it now. Missing the killing blow though. A little bit unfortunate. Is this one going to be able to get the recrew? But could maybe kill the lieutenant now. Just going to go for the runaway. This one. About 30 fuel away from another Jackson. Could be a tough 30 fuel. But yeah, it's really bad play from ProMete because, you know, he's up against just one Panther from Ed, basically. That's the only vehicle, right? So it's not like he's up against like a Panzer IV that was fighting over here, that he needed the anti-tank guns somewhere else away from the KV2 to stop the infantry bleed. He didn't need those anti-tank guns anywhere but to support the KV. You know, even if the Panther does show up over here, you know, whatever, his machine guns are going to tickle you for a while. You can suffer that. But what you can't suffer is two Panthers charging through the center and just knocking out your KV2 for free. So yeah, pretty big blunder there on the positioning for ProMete. And now the Allies, after a very promising, you know, light vehicle to medium tank phase, find themselves in a tricky situation, quite far behind in army size. So ProMete trying to save for another KV2 now. Going for a long-range Katyusha barrage onto the Ogres here. Generally, I'm not a big fan of doing barrages like side on like that. Long range one, but so lots of scatter, end up going okay. But yeah, it has been a bit of time, you know, off cooldown, ready to fire. It hasn't been firing. Something for ProMete to work on there.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Just got going for the barrage on the machine gun. Wasn't away pretty effectively. And this is where these kind of builds can kind of go off the rails a bit as a US Forces player. Once again, anti-tank, the artillery dropped on the anti-tank gun as the Panther makes a daring assault. Annihilates it. This one maybe didn't notice the smoke as he tries to back away with the Scott. And rather confusingly goes for a Sherman here instead of a Jackson. I feel like it's a massive blunder. I mean, he's already got a decent infantry base to fight back against the Axis troops with. What he doesn't have is a good answer to these double Panthers. Like he's got, you know, loads of anti-infantry, and then the Scott as well. Panther, meanwhile, from Ed just charging forwards and getting the easy kill on the Scott. Oh boy, it all went to custard here for the Allies, didn't it? ProMete having a bit of trouble with his anti-tank gun positioning now. Getting a little bit more aggressive with his flak half-track now, up to 19 kills all of a sudden. I imagine a few of those planes. More vehicles destroyed. But Allies really struggling for territory control. At this point it might be worth the Allies kind of like double teaming the south at the moment. Seems the easier path to getting some territory back under their belts and stabilizing their fuel control, because they desperately need the fuel here. As ProMete tries to save for his next KV. Try to go for the wipe here. The Panthers just coming in, almost no respect. Does have a snaring squad nearby and gets the snare off this time, finally shutting down some of the mobility of the Panther. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like, this is where these airborne strats can kind of come off the rails in the end game. As US forces, you don't have access to permanent snare mines, and you're only one snaring squad available in terms of riflemen. So it can be really hard to limit the mobility of the Axis tanks. Barrage coming in, targeting the Raketten and the infantry support gun here. Pretty good damage. Nearly gets the ISG and the Raketten very low on health. But it's not a game winner. 8 kills so far. And the Allies down under 100 VPs now. 3 fuel off the KV. Got a second Maxim out, which I think is a very good idea. Should have got this out a bit earlier. Could really help a lot with the territory control at the moment. Could probably also do with another squad of combat engineers. For repairs once the tank arrives. For mines. Mines will be really helpful against these double Panthers. They're just charging around the map. Almost no consequences at the moment. 4 out now for Ed to support his Panther. Guys are holding on to the VPs at the moment. Tough hold though. They forced Ed back a bit. AT guns here a little bit overextended, now pulling back. And here we go, walking Stuka out now from Synthesis. Not hitting anything though, so the Allied support weapons were already dodging away. Really, Sherman needs to really come in and help out. Here it comes now. Oh, nasty connection. Good dodge on the bundle grenades. Oh, it was nearly going down, but not quite. Sherman doing some nice work here. Panther chasing in briefly. Managing to get away. They're taking battering. Barrage opening up the center a bit, but really need to be targeted on the MG out the back. Allies really struggling with that suppression at the moment. We've got the fresh KV out though. Panther, both of them a little bit low, so the KV could get some work done, and the Allies do manage to stop the clock at 90 VPs. Ober's just ripping into the anti-tank gun here though, trying to cross the road. It's getting lit up. Those Vet 3 Obers, they are nasty. Extension on Synthesis' machine gun there. Panzer 4 from Ed. Trying to do some risky maneuvers. He's also gone for a tank upgrade with the Panzer Commander. Panzer 4 going for a bit of a flank here. Got the recrew off. Drops the artillery on the conscripts here, I think. Second Panther coming in. Good teamwork here from the Axis random team. Artillery doesn't quite get the decrew on the anti-tank gun, but the machine guns on the Panther are enough to finish the job. Conscripts, though, have already thrown the anti-tank grenade at the... I don't know what at, because nothing's got engineers. Maybe it was on... I've got no idea. Actually got no idea. T-gun gets decrewed again. Sherman coming through the center. Wants it draining against the Allies here. Sherman smoke out onto the Raketten. Nice move there. Oh, this could be a nasty walking Stuka barrage, so a lot of units here for Zyswen. Dodges forwards though. Barely takes any damage from it. We got the Katyusha meanwhile coming into the smoke. Ober's a little bit greedy going for the rifleman kill there. Could go down. Oh, so close. Again they escape on almost nothing. ISG's pumping away there. Hit 4 on this now, 18 kills. AV2 on the front lines here, getting repaired. Definitely have stabilized. Still a little bit behind in army size, but this one does have a good manpower float spare. Could squeeze out another unit. Has got a Jackson to complement the Sherman now, which is nice to see. This stage in these kind of VP wars, maybe another machine gun could be quite handy just to try to camp out the center. VP is very, very important for the Allies at the moment. Oh, there goes the M1 in the center. But yeah, both of the Allies are floating a lot of manpower at this stage. Not what you want to see when you're in this kind of scenario. Under a lot of pressure. At risk of losing the game. We've got Panzer Commander Artillery finishing off the decrewed M1s. This one probably going to airdrop in another one of those. Oh no, and the flak half track finishing off the paratroopers there. AT gun somewhat nearby. The Katyusha barrage clearing out the Raketin there. Conscript's going to get the snare off as well. And they're getting quite low, but the KV's already disengaged. I think is a fair choice. Jackson coming in, but a little bit too late. We find the Panzer IV in the center. No, he's switching over. He really wants to kill that Panther. Sides against it. Slows down yet another tank though. Oh, that was a hammering. Is the squad down again? Squad Pathfinders, 3 echelon. I'm not entirely sure. I thought I saw a squad go up in smoke there. So does the flak half track AT gun. I don't know how he had the angle there, but not the kill. Who's this one? Panther blitzing in here, going after the Jacksons. A little bit low. The KV2 also low. Camped around there. With the heat shells going. Sherman on high explosive though. AT gun coming in from the side. Goes down. The Panther goes down. Allies right back in this now. This one just needs to pump out some more units. Gonna be another Sherman. Okay. KV2 coming to the front lines. You do have crew repairs in this commander. Worth noting. I don't think we've seen him use them so far, but it would be quite handy in these kind of scenarios. Well, here comes Ed's Panther. Popping the blitz, looking to flank around the KV, but takes a bit of a beat down. Now switching over to the Katyusha. AT gun rotates the wrong direction here, and Ober's going to get the decrew on it. Here goes the Katyusha. Good. Well, it was a daring play from Ed. I mean, there very easily could have been mines here, but not. MG goes down to the Panzer IV. Lucky shot. Jackson having a bit of a traffic jam issue getting through this gap here. Engine damage on the Panther. Jackson still has 2 shots here. T-34 joining in on the front. Could even go for a ram here. Wouldn't be a horrible idea. Sherman's still on high explosive. Sherman could go down to the Panzer IV now, but it looks like he's going to play it safe and disengage here. And looks like the Axe is going to jump on top of the V-piece. It looks like the Allies are going to throw in the towel here. Oh, did the KV2? Did I not see that? Went down over here? Alright. Maybe that happened during the push that Ed did on the Katyusha. Oh boy. Well, promising start here from the Allies. You know, the Axis both going for battle group, late light vehicle, very poor early control from the Axis team. But a bit of good luck there. You know, it's Panther getting away from the Jackson in the center. And ProMete badly mispositioning his double anti-tank guns, not supporting the KV2 in the center. That also going down. And after that, the Axis were right back in the game, eventually grinding this one out. ProMete just way too much float, man. Both of these guys had a bit too much float throughout the match, but especially him. Like, when he started the stall for his KV2, that entire time he had like, basically, from when he was like 150 fuel, all the way up to 230 fuel, which is quite a slow process too, because they kept losing control of the fuel points since they didn't have enough units out. Yeah, he had like close to 700 manpower that whole time. Really, in those scenarios, you have to at least squeeze out like one more unit, maybe a machine gun, something like that, to try and hold on to territory a bit better. He had like a decent comp, like I think it was 3 conscripts, 1 machine gun, 2 anti-tank guns, something like that, but yeah, should have tried to squeeze in one more unit as well. I think he forgot about the vehicle crew repair training also on the KV. Or maybe that's what happened over here. He tried to use it. Panthers charged it and killed him. I'm not entirely sure. But when it was sitting over here for a long time, that was time where it could have like maybe backed away, crew repaired, and then came back in. Anyway, yeah, this one a little bit unlucky. But overall played a pretty solid game. Things just didn't quite go his way. Got a little bit overwhelmed in a couple of the scenarios as well, it seemed like. And yeah, there was just overall like a lack of snaring for the Allies, which just gave the Panthers from the Axis so much freedom to move. You need to see a lot of mines from ProMete to make up for the fact that this one didn't have much access to snares. But oh well, GG, well played. Anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye, and good luck.